So, meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren, ich melde mich zurück auf der Bühne. Ich hoffe, Sie konnten die kurze Pause genießen und sich etwas verpflegen. Als nächsten Programmpunkt werden wir Bryan Robson bei uns auf der Bühne begrüßen dürfen. Ich freue mich sehr, dass wir ihn heute für den Swiss Dots Trading Day gewinnen konnten. Dank der Kooperation von der Swissquote mit dem Fußballverein Manchester United hatten wir dies möglich machen können. Bryan Robson war Mittelfeldspieler bei verschiedenen Premier League Clubs. Dabei absolvierte er über 560 Spiele in der höchsten englischen Liga und erzielte dabei 115 Tore, meine Damen und Herren. Er ist eine Manchester United-Legende. Bryan Robson war nicht nur erfolgreicher Clubfußballspieler, sondern hat auch für die englische Nationalmannschaft großartige Einsätze geleistet. Dabei hat er bei 90 Spielen für die Nationalmannschaft 28 Tore erzielt, was seine Leistungen eindrücklich untermauern. Ebenfalls hat er anschließend verschiedene Stationen als Trainer und wie gesagt, werden wir ihn jetzt gleich bei uns auf der Bühne begrüßen dürfen. Das Interview mit Bryan Robson wird von Jan de Schepper, Head Marketing Swissquote, geleitet. Meine Damen und Herren, bitte begrüßen Sie zusammen mit mir herzlich Bryan Robson und Jan de Schepper.
Hello, Bryan. Thank you for being here in Zurich.
No, thank you, Jan. I'd like to thank Swissquote for the invitation today. It's going to be quite an interesting morning for myself.
So, for everybody here in the room, the interview will be in English. Is it okay to have it in English, or would you like me to translate it in German? So I can do that. There's no worry. So maybe don't be afraid. So if you would prefer for me to have the key questions and answers in German, then please raise your hands. No hands in the room, which is good. It makes it easier for me. And for
I thought it was very good. In Switzerland, I always thought everybody could speak English.
Exactly, yeah. So this is a nice thing about Switzerland. So people are used to speak a lot of languages, especially English, and especially the trader community. Of course, English is a key language. So actually today, our discussion will be about the parallels between the trading world and the football world. And if you speak to the good traders, then what I realized is that the traders spend a lot of time to analyze, say, performance. So they really take track record of, say, trades, when they buy, when they sell, how they did, what mistakes they did, also in terms of psychological mistakes. And I would like to ask you about the analysis of data. So did you spend a lot of time analyzing your own performance and also the performance of the opposition?
Yeah, when I first started playing, analyzing was there, but it was only in video form at that time. And so we would sit and we would watch videos of the opposition, what their strengths, what their weaknesses would be. We didn't really go in depth into our own performances. The manager would more or less note things and point things out to us about our performance, but he was more concerned about what the opposition could do and what they couldn't do. So analysing was always there, but not to the extent that it is in today's game.
Okay, so let's speak about today's case. So since you retired, the role of data in the football business has changed incredibly. So the data has become a central element. So today there are sensors on all players, so you can really track how many miles they run, how fast they have run, how many passes they've made, the accuracy of the passes. So there are an incredible number of data which is available nowadays. So before it was just the video recording. And actually, how do you think that this kind of data has changed the football? And if you would have the possibility in the past, would you have used these kind of elements?
Yes, I mean, in the past, when I finished playing and I went to manage at Middlesbrough, Premier League club. We had a brand new stadium, and what we did, we had ProZone introduced into the stadium. Now, ProZone was about 20 cameras all around the stadium, and it could censor and monitor all the players on the pitch. So what you would then get, after the weekend, you would get on a Monday, and you would get a report on every single player. So it would be how far they jogged, how far they'd walked, how far they'd run, the intensity that they run at, how many tackles they made, how many passes they made. So all that data was there for the managers, and also on the opposition. So you get to know about the opposition a lot better, and you could prepare against them a lot better. But in saying that, that was the same for the opposition, because everybody at the highest level in football used data to try and improve the players, because that's what data is all about. It's about trying to improve your own performance and your team performance, and that was all in place. And it's not just data, on the playing side of it and the players. It is also on the medical side. The medical people would have all sorts of data to try and improve the fitness levels of the players, try and improve the health of the players. So this is all an important aspect at top-level football nowadays.
That's very interesting what you're saying. So actually, when you watch football like that in the television, you don't realize it, but actually football has become incredibly sophisticated. There is a lot of technology in the football, a lot of analyzers, a lot of tools that have been used, and the same is true for trading. So if you look trading in the 80s or 90s, and if you look at the trading environment nowadays, the technologies that the trader can use to improve their performance, to take better decisions, is completely different. So I think there are very nice parallels. So if you look at yourself, about how you see yourself as a player, what would you say that was your really key strengths that made you the legend you are today? We all know.
If I'm talking about myself, I think the one thing which I always had quite natural, but I really worked hard at it, was stamina. That was a major strength which I had against maybe a lot of other players. But on other things in the game, I just think I was, quite good at everything, not exceptional at everything. So I could sort of tackle. I was not quick, but I was okay with pace. I could head a ball. I could score a goal. And I was quite a good passer of the ball. So I don't think I was excellent at one thing. I think my strength was that I was quite good at everything which makes a footballer.
Okay, so you definitely have been very, very complete footballer, and that's also the reason why you have been a great leader of the club and also of the national team. So you have been, if I write this correctly, the longest serving captain of Manchester United. And during your career at Manchester United, you scored 99 goals, which is just an amazing number that you have scored for the club. So out of these 90, and it's so a pity that you don't have made 100 goals, so 90 goals, what was the goal actually that you like to think about it, that you say, okay, this is really the favorite goal I scored, and why is the favorite goal?
I should get fined for not getting the 100th goal. But no, my favorite goal, an important goal for Manchester United, was in 1985. We were playing Liverpool in the semi-final of the FA Cup. We were 1-0 down, and then I broke from midfield, and I hit a shot from about 30 yards, and it went into the top corner. But we actually went on to win the game, and then more importantly, we went on to go to the cup final and beat Everton in the cup final. So that was a real important goal because it got us back into the game against a real top side.
Interesting. So I see the rivalry with Liverpool, so it's definitely, I think, very special. So if you're on the pitch and then you make these goals which turns the game and which makes the decision, so it's incredible. So when I look also at your track record, let's go back to these 99 goals for Manchester United, the 90 appearances with the national team, the goals that you scored for the national team, the various championship that you have won with Manchester United on the English level, also on the European level. So you made a lot of records. You have a very, very high track record. How important was it for you to beat your records, to set up a new standard? Is it just a byproduct, or is it really a driver for you?
No, it's a drive. I mean, I go back to my earlier days in training, and we didn't have the technology that the players have got today. So mainly what they would do, they would actually time you. So no matter what running technique that you were doing, they would time you. And now, could you beat your times the next time? And are you getting fitter? So that's how we would gauge. If you were doing press-ups within 30 seconds, could you do more press-ups as you were going along? If you were doing sit-ups, could you do 600 sit-ups instead of 500 sit-ups? So it was that which pushed you through. But then, yeah, in football, yeah, you can win a league, which we did in 92, 93. But then what was more important for me is that in 93, 94, we actually went on and won the double. So we won the league title again and we won the FA Cup. And what that's doing, it's getting the best out of you and you're motivating yourself. Not that you've had success, but have more success and keep trying to strive for that. Because there's no danger in business or in football. If you stand still thinking you're the best, somebody will come from behind you and will overtake you. So you need to strive to always improve in whatever business or whatever sport that you're competing in.
Okay, that makes sense, and you're a good example of that. But what happens, because you won't always improve, you will always get better, because there is no choice, basically. You have to improve because the others are also doing their best and the game is advancing. But what happens if you have a setback because an injury or something like that you cannot plan? How did you to motivate yourself to come back in these kind of circumstances?
Well, sometimes, it's in every walk of life. Everything is not going to go smoothly. You're going to have setbacks, and sometimes there can be big setbacks. But then that's the true person comes out of you and your character comes out of you, because you fight back, you work even harder to strive to even get back to where you were, and then you go and try and improve yourself again. But you've always got to have that belief that you can do that you can fight it, and you're going to strive, work even harder to try and improve yourself again.
You have a strong character. What would you say the importance of the character versus the importance of the talent? What is more important in your opinion?
I think they've both got to go together, but I think sometimes it's your character, because if you have talent and you don't have a great belief in yourself and you don't have a fighting spirit to try and be better, and you just give up and you say, okay, I've got this talent, but the talent's just going to stay the same, and you're not striving to make that talent work even better for you. That's why I think character is probably more important than the talent itself.
Very interesting. So if you look back at your whole career as a football player and as a coach, what would you say was the best decision you have ever made in your career?
The best decision, without doubt, for me was I was playing for a club called West Bromwich Albion, who were a very good club. They brought me through from youth and give me a good career, give me good standings and grounding to be a footballer. But we never looked as if we were going to achieve anything and win anything. And that is when I decided to hand in a transfer request, because I wanted to go to a bigger and better club who had the opportunity of maybe trying to win things. And so when I moved to Manchester United for a record fee in 1981, that's the best move I ever made, because I had a great playing career there for 13 years. Then I've been global ambassador for the club now for 9 years. and my family are really settled in Manchester, and we've had a great life in Manchester. So that was definitely the best move I made.
Okay, so your best decision was joining Manchester United, and you have been very loyal to the club, and you're still working for the club as you're doing right now. So what is it that makes Manchester United so special? So what is about Manchester United? Why is it the best thing? And maybe you can explain a little bit about the special relation with the club and about the spirit of the club.
Yeah, I think it definitely comes from the Munich disaster when the plane crashed. It actually brought a charisma and a love to Manchester United because they lost so many great players in that crash. But then to actually within a few, 5-6 years, build a team which won the European Cup and bring through great players like George Best, Bobby Charlton, and players like that. Sir Matt Busby was a great and respected manager. And so it just built a charisma around the club which everybody in the world sort of took to them. And that's why now we have like 680 million fans throughout the world. But then Sir Alex Ferguson came into the club and they have a lot of success. And the successes, people always want to be associated with winners. And that's what Manchester United became. At the moment, we've just slipped down a little bit, but even in saying that, we won the FA Cup last year, so at least it's a trophy and it's something you've won again. But Manchester United are striving now to actually get back where we want to be, where we're winning titles, we're competing in the Champions League. So that's what brought me to the club. It attracted me. Then the stadium is as good a stadium as anybody's got in the world. Our Aon training complex is probably the best football training ground in the world because they strive to be the best at that. And so that's why I love to be connected with Manchester United, because they're always striving to be the best club in the world. But it was like you were saying, Jan, you can strive to be the best, but it doesn't mean that you are going to be the best. You've got a club like Bayern Munich who do the same principles. They try to do the same. Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're striving to be the best clubs in the world. So there's always competition out there. But I think as long as you strive to be the best and you work hard at it, then you can't have any regrets then.
That was very, very nice answer. And it's really about striving to be the best and creating the environment so that people like you can succeed and can push the club further. And now the people are on the ground, are Pogba, are Ibrahimovic, and it's just amazing to see how the club gets this high level of commitment and professionality to always strive to be the best as they can.
Well, Jan, that's a perfect example of, we do not mind at Manchester United. We will sign a player from anywhere in the world. But what we actually do, we really feel it's very important that no matter where this player comes from, that what culture he's got, whatever, we will try and help him settle into the club as soon as he can, make sure that his family are happy, that he is happy just in the environment, not just on the playing side, but in the environment that he's living in. And you try to help the foreign players to settle in as quickly as you can, because that's very important.
Okay. Bryan, thank you very much for your time here at this interview. I'm sure that in the room there are some questions. So if you have questions, so now is the possibility to answer questions. So we have seen in the discussion there are parallels between trading world and the football world. On the first side, they might not be that obvious, but you deep a little bit into the details, you see that it's all about passion, it's about professionality, it's about analyzing, to having the willingness to succeed, they have the willingness, the discipline to give the best and to learn with every decision that you are doing. And then on the football ground, if you're succeeding, you have a win, you have titles, and on the trading, if you succeed and if you make a good trade, you have the financial reward. So if you have question for Bryan regarding his football achievements, so please feel free. So I can pass you the microphone, or I will repeat the questions. So don't be afraid. You can ask your question also in German. There's no problem. So maybe you prefer to ask him the question indirect and not in front of everybody, and that's perfectly fine as well, because actually Bryan Robson will be at the Swissquote stand, so for the next half an hour, so you can pass at the Swissquote stand, you can ask him question about his career, about his decision, about how he sees the club at the moment, what his prognostics are for the team. So he is happy to answer all these kind of questions you might have. And he's also available if you want to take a picture of him, if you want to have an autograph. I think it's perfectly fine for you to do that, no?
Yeah. Yes, I'd just like to thank everybody for your attention. I hope you have a real good day today. And, you know, like Jan says, I'll be over at the stand. Anybody wants an autograph or a photo, no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Danke vielmals. So, besten Dank, Bryan Robson und Jan, für dieses Interview. Das war sehr spannend, meine Damen und Herren. Wie Jan gesagt hat, können Sie jetzt gerne Autogramme holen und Selfies machen am Stand der Swissquote. Ich sehe, da läuft das auch schon, sind schon sehr viele Leute da hinten. Ich wollte kurz anmelden, was der nächste Menüpunkt ist, was uns als nächstes erwartet. Wir haben jetzt eine kleine Pause wieder. Sie haben also Zeit, die Stände zu besuchen. Verpflegen Sie sich hier bei uns im Catering, bevor wir dann um 10:30 Uhr mit der nächsten Live-Trading-Session weiterfahren werden. Sehr spannend wird die Begleitpräsentation sein während dieser Trading-Session. Wir haben Dr. Raimund Schriek hier im Saal. Er ist Trading-Psychologe, Wissenschaftler und befasst sich hauptsächlich mit dem menschlichen Hirn im Zusammenhang mit Trading und den Herausforderungen dabei und wird da sein Wissen uns vermitteln können. Also um 12:30 geht es weiter und ich freue mich, bis gleich.